Alright, welcome to Janktown, population 75. This is James from Magical Christmas Land, and this is a test video. This video is to serve two purposes. One is to make sure that check the video and audio quality that we're getting with this setup. I think we're going to need to get a new microphone and to kind of get an idea of the tone and style we might want to do for videos for Magical Christmas Land. And the other purpose is that Stephen and I have been brewing up this Inverter burn deck, and this is the very first match I'll be playing with it. I just bought this deck. This is probably not going to be the final deck, so that's another reason why I would not do this video. I would want to play the deck a few times first and maybe tune it a little bit. But since this is a test video and I might want to get Stephen's feedback both on those things as well as on the deck itself, we're just going to go. So the idea of this deck is Inverter Burn. We've got Inverter of Truth. Now, a bunch of people have tried to break this card by saying, wow, you know, if you can get around that downside, it's a 6/6 for 4 mana, 6/6 flyer for 4 mana. I should talk about what the card does. It's a 6/6 flyer for 4 mana, which is a ridiculous rate, but the downside is when it enters the battlefield, your library goes away and your graveyard gets shuffled and becomes your new library. So you've got only a few turns to close out the game at that point. And people have been like, oh, well, how can I fill my graveyard? So I have a bunch of draw steps. And I decided to go another direction. Let's make it an upside. So this deck plays no fetch lands, and it plays a whole lot of spells. The only creatures it plays are Inverter of Truth, of course, and Monastery Swiftspear, and Avaricious Dragon. And the idea is we're going to do face burn and token making, fill our graveyard with spells that are good for us to have and for us to draw. And then when we cast Inverter of Truth, we are going to draw nothing but gas for the entire rest of the game. So because this is a test video and Stephen already knows this, I'm not going to talk too much more about the cards. We've got Outpost Siege to make sure we keep getting gas. We've got a zillion types of face burn. Collateral damage works really well with our token generators, and it can also, in a pinch, you can put our Swift Spears into the graveyard. So then we draw them. Damnable Pact I like because it can be card selection early on to help us find our inverter, and then after we cast Inverter and flip our graveyard into our library, this is just a burn spell to close out the game. Avaricious Dragon is a card I'm not sure about. Stephen was really big on it. I had thought about it. It's a good rate, and again, this will keep you drawing gas. On the other hand, if you do this post-inverter, you're going to be drawing your cards twice as fast out of your very small library. You do it pre-inverter, it can help fill your graveyard. But then again, we can get some lands in there by doing this. So, I don't know. We're going to see how it plays. I thought it was worth a try. Sideboard-wise, I wasn't entirely sure. I put another Crater's Clause in case we need more reach. I thought Self-Inflicted Wound would be pretty good in this meta because you see a lot of Abzan decks floating around, and this would be good against the Abzan aggro matchup. Some Duress for the control matchup. Ultimate Price in case we need more creature removal. Right now, the only creature removal we really have is well, could do Exquisite Firecraft or Wild Slash, Crater's Claws in a pinch, and also I put Flaying Tendrils in. I almost thought about, see, if we were running fetch lands, I would run Radiant Flames and put some off-color battle lands in here, but I don't think that that's going to do it for us today. So, alright, so I'm having a little bit of trouble with my recording software in that it seems to have a maximum amount of time that it will record. So instead of, and I talked more in this deck tech video than I thought I was going to do. So instead of doing this deck tech and match in one video, I'm going to end this video now and I'm going to start a new video. So that's it for this deck tech edition of Janktown, and I'll see you at the matches.